Hello everyone and welcome to the Watkins Dinner Breakfast. In this video we're going to be unboxing the 12-foot floating Reaper who's new from Home Depot this year. To start off, I want to apologize for the poor video quality. If you saw my post on Facebook the other day, you'll know that the video was blurry for some reason and the sound audio was very staticky for unknown reasons. Instead of disassembling the guy and reshooting the whole thing, I just decided to roll with the blurry video and do a narration. So here we are. Um, I'm unboxing everything. Standard Home Depot box prop. All of the parts are labeled with letters. Um, I'm assembling the base frame here. New for Home Depot this year, I believe is new, is there's screws as part of the assembly, and I'm looking for the box now. The instructions show the 3 screws and an Allen wrench in an envelope. Instead, it's actually taped to the side of the adapter box, which I just find here. So that was very frustrating. I almost gave up on it. I thought maybe they did put it in the box and we were missing something, and I was going to scrap the whole thing. But found the screws, got that into the base, and started the assembly. Here I'm assembling the shaft of the scythe. Um, all box tube construction makes it much more sturdier and stronger. Using the plastic wood for the shaft, there are wires you have to run up through it. That took me a minute to figure out because the pictures in the instructions are not the best, and it's hard to tell what side is which. It's very small, and I'm blind with my glasses on, and it's daytime, so it's kind of hard to see. But figured it out slowly but surely. Got the pieces together, got stuff done. You can see I'm assembling the shaft of the side here, feeding the wires up through each section of the wood as I go, um, keeping it moving up, feeding the wires through, figuring out what direction the stuff sits in, fixing it as I go. Again, the instructions are not great on this prop, so uh, part of the instructions are much like the other 12-foot props. You have to use the box for part of the assembly. I'm not keen on this as I don't keep the boxes. Um, Once we assemble them, we throw the boxes away, and I usually put stuff in 64-gallon totes. This keeps them better protected in off season, where they're not sitting in cardboard boxes and don't have to sit there and try to stack boxes. The totes are stackable and great and much more sturdy. So just following the process, figuring out where stuff goes, putting the left hand on now. That's the one that holds the shaft of the scythe. I wish the pieces of the side, the wood pieces, click together, but they don't. They just kind of sit inside of each other, which becomes annoying later on when you're trying to do this. Here you see the infamous cloak. That was a complaint from some of the videos I've seen. The cloak is pretty difficult to put on, and the instructions don't help any with that either. Uh, you have to start putting the cloak on before you're even finishing the assembly of the frame and body. So I'm putting that on now. Um, at some point, I realized I put the cloak on backwards, full stop, and that was not good. Um, but the instructions are difficult. It makes it difficult to see what's the front and what's the back, um, because there's Velcro closures on the back, and there's Velcro closures on the front that attach to the rib cage, and it's hard looking at the picture to tell what's what. So I put the cloak on, started the assembly. I'm putting the chest piece on here. I'm kind of out of frame, but I put the head on next and doing all this other stuff, following the instructions. Biggest complaint with this, guys, the instructions are not good, and they are not. I can attest to that. They go step by step, and there's pictures, and there's some text, but they're not great pictures, and it's not very detailed text. As I mentioned before, they tell you to move the box as you go, which makes it kind of difficult, especially if it's one person putting this thing together. And it does make it a little unstable. When you go further out, you'll see that in a few minutes. Here I am connecting all the wires. There are a ton of wires for this guy. For the most part, they're easy to connect. It's yellow to yellow, red to red, purple to purple, brown to brown, and they snap lock together so they're waterproof. But they have these white connectors in various spots, and it doesn't say, you know, like arm to body or body to this. They're just all white connectors. So apparently I got it right because they all work, but they're not labeled to do. I realized I put his right arm on backwards, and I spin that around and I start to put the cloak on. And it tells you to do this while it's laying down like this, which is kind of weird to me, but we'll get into that. So here I am putting the cloak on. I realize it's not fitting right, and the Velcro is not matching up, and I have my come to Jesus moment when I realize the darn thing's on backwards. And then I try to figure out a way to turn the cloak around without taking the darn thing apart, and that wasn't happening. So I ended up disassembling part of it. I took the head off, the chest piece off, the spine off, and the control box portion of it off. Thankfully, I didn't have to go too far. I did not end up taking up the left arm too. That way I can spin the cloak around. Got it fixed, as you can see here. Now I'm closing up the back Velcro, getting that closed up. There is the hood. And as I said, it tells you to do all this stuff while it's laying down, which makes it really kind of difficult. It's a waterproof fabric, so it's heavier than most costumes that are for animatronics. And you're trying to do this while it's laying on the side, and the fabric's falling one way, and the fringes are falling over the top of the Velcro in your face and getting in your way while you're trying to do this. And it makes it really difficult. I gave up on the Velcro. I figured I would do it once I got them stood up and ready to go. So I go back to assembling the sides, and then I'll put the top piece on the side, and you see it flipped over. Once that body gets on there, it makes it side heavy like that. So when you lift it up, it wants to flip. And the way it sits on the box, it keeps pushing that top wood portion of the side handle up. So here I am screwing together the two pieces of the side. That's one of the 3 screws. And then I'm trying to click the connector of the side into the shaft for the side. And the way this wood piece is sitting, because the box keeps pushing it up, it makes it almost impossible to get that in there. No matter how hard I tried, I could not get that piece to click in. It just wouldn't feed in there. So I made the decision to stand them up, which I'm doing here. And I figure I'll just get my ladder because I want to fix the cloak anyway. And I want to do that while I stand up because it was too difficult to do it while I was laying down. So decided to stand them up, went to my shed, got my ladder out. I had to adjust the camera here to get a better shot once I stood them up. And you'll see me bring my step ladder around in a minute. I never knew my real ladder. So there's my step ladder, 6-foot step ladder. Nowhere near close to get to the top of this bad boy. He's so tall. So I had to go get my little giant. And you'll see that in a second as I come around. Here's my little giant ladder. Had this bad boy in the step ladder position, fully extended to reach the top. Around front, because it's a little more stable to ground, so it wouldn't rock as much. But then I got up there and realized that it was too far to reach over. I couldn't see the clicking in place, so I moved the ladder around back and got up there on the ladder. And it was still very difficult. The click portion of the shaft for the side and the pole inside of the side was so snug. I had to fight to get the click into place, but I finally got it in there. Here I am adjusting the final pieces of Velcro. I'm in the home stretch of the assembly here. Overall, not too bad assembly. I saw some videos where some people did it in like an hour or two. I've seen some people had some really bad experiences. It took like one guy that took like 4 hours. Overall, with the issues that I did have, including putting the cloak on backwards and have to partially disassemble it, having to stand up and get my ladder to put the top of the side on and fix the Velcro, I'd say it took me about 2 hours to put this guy together. Probably would have been less had it not been for those issues, maybe an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes, or an hour and 45 minutes, I should say. But overall, not too bad. Negatives for this guy: the instructions are horrendous. They're adequate, but not great. You can muddle your way through it and figure it out. The cloak is a pain in the butt, and the side is a bit of a pain in the butt. I did hear people complain about the audio on this guy. They said it was very low. It was like tinny, radioing, but I didn't have any issues with it. But the nighttime demo is coming up, so you guys can let me know what you think in the comments below.
Your place of terror and darkness.